And we're back. So yes, welcome to the review session of this week. So this one's is going to be a kind of a lighter week. I only have one review for you this week, and we're just going to go to Kindred. But before I get to that, remember to go to YouTube and look up Maniacal Tube there and find the video versions of these reviews. And stop by, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and make me and Senor Corona's day. So yeah, cheers on that. Kindred is a 8-episode series released on Hulu back in December 2022. It is starring Mallory Johnson as Dana James and Micah Stock as Kevin Franklin. So yeah, again, this came out back in December, and I watched this back then when it released, and I had all intentions of reviewing it and everything, but that was kind of before my collapse, I guess you could say. But yeah, but I had such strong kind of opinions on this after watching it that it definitely just stuck with me. And yeah, I kind of couldn't wait to get into this too. But let's get into it. So what's this about? So Dana James has just picked up and moved from New York City out into California. I think she wants to be like a screenwriter, and so she decides to just kind of pick up everything and just move out to LA, and take a swing at it, which I respect the hell out of. There's something. I mean, if I would do that right now today, honestly, but I can't because I have attachments. I got responsibilities now, so I can't just indulge in that, right? Even though I could use like a complete change of scenery, complete change of everything, honestly. But anyway, I digress. And so she has a meeting with her aunt and uncle, who after learning she sold the family's house in order to fund her move. And so her aunt didn't take kindly to that, because that's like the family home, the home she grew up in, whatever. Through that we kind of find out that her father, Dana James' father, has passed on, and her mother's disappeared under mysterious circumstances. And so that's kind of what kind of made her kind of move to, kind of led to her moving, just kind of selling everything and picking up and moving. And so she runs into this guy, Kevin Franklin, who they get pretty sweet on each other. One thing leads to another. They end up hooking up and getting together. And then Dana's X gene kicks in. She becomes a mutant, and she starts teleporting herself to the distant past, and it goes back into the slavery days, and yeah, that's where the story kind of leads. She kind of pops back and forth, until Professor Xavier comes in and shows her how to control her powers. No, I'm joking. That doesn't happen. She just ends up just going back and forth. She drags her new boyfriend, Kevin Franklin, who's a white guy, back and forth into her, just to kind of make the dynamics of that even worse. But and that's kind of what's happening here. We're kind of in that, stuck into why she's going back and forth, and then she gets involved with this family, and she, I don't know if I should say that to spoil it, but she may come in contact with someone who looks very much like her mother, you could say. And so yeah, that's what it is. So what do I like about it? Right off the bat, terrifying premise. Absolutely terrifying. I know a lot of people like to say I wish I can go back in the past, in the good old days when life was simpler and yada yada yada. And all the black folks are saying, I'm good. Nope, I'm good. Stay my black ass right here, right in 2023. It ain't perfect, but it ain't that. Okay. So yeah, the premise is actually like very terrifying. It's something I have thought of like time to time, like, damn, what, or just kind of like, damn, what if I was born back in like 1823? You know, like what if I was born like 200 years prior to this? You know, I'd be dead. I look. I'm a blurred. Okay, I'm a blurred. I'm a computer nerd. I write sci-fi horror stories, for Christ's sake. I ain't got no place back there. You know, it's there's no. First off, you took me from my mama. First off, right? And then you want me to pick what? For how long? And then there's the fact that there's no AC. Where the AC? Where the Wi-Fi? Man, where's the indoor toilet? No, there's no indoor toilet. With electricity, I can't charge my phone. Yeah, nah, I'm done, son. I'm done. I want a master let me take a mental health day. Master, I'm just not feeling it today, man. I'm just not there right now. I just need a mental health day. Boy, if you don't get your ass. But yeah, anyway, it's a terrifying premise. Yeah, it was Mallory Johnson playing Dana James, and Austin Smith as Luke, and Michael Stock as Kevin Franklin. Like, their performances are like the standouts here. You know, their performance is like very strong. Like, so I can't take that away from them. Like, I really, I don't. Well, okay. From there, let's just go into like what I don't like about this. Right, senor? Si, senor. I don't like none of the characters in this. Like, there was just none of the characters were likable to me. Like, they all were kind of annoying. Yeah, they were all just kind of annoying. Like, there's not one character except for the cop. Like, her uncle. There was a cop. Like, I liked him. Like, I was team the uncle the whole way. Just like, man, what this crazy damn girl to come out here upsetting my wife. Now I gotta get my ass up 2 a.m. because now she's concerned about you. You know, you got some crazy white dude in here. Look, I ain't got time for this. Handle your shit. I was team uncle all the way in this. I liked him. He was the only likable character, the only one. Everybody else I couldn't stand. It's just that, like, so Dana James, just terrible decisions on her part. Just terrible. Like, what? Why are you doing this? And at one point, like, the one thing that got me was when she knew she was like her mutant power was kicking in, and she was like blinking back to the past, and she just grabs her boyfriend. She just grabs onto her boyfriend, like the white guy, Micah Stock playing Kevin Franklin. She just grabs onto him and just shoves him back. Now he got to go back in the slave days, right? And and he's like a regular dude. He's a regular dude, regular modern day dude, you know, regular 20-something guy, just, you know, everyday average. He like works at a bar or something like that. So, you know, and it's like now and the interesting thing is, like, he's confronted with the kind of like the ugly history of the country, right? And it's like all of us know about it, like, you know, even like the white people know about it, and and a lot of these people just regular average people, you know, just kicking it, you know, trying to do their thing in modern day. But, you know, like, but and they kind of did a thing here where like he kind of easily, well, not easily, I'm not gonna say easily, but he had to slide into like the social norms and like the position. Damn it, senor. Just, yeah, okay, yeah. I guess the premiere ain't shit after all. Like he had to slide into like the social positions of like that day. So they're together. They're in 2023. They're a couple. But in 1823, like he's like she's property. You know what I mean? And so like they had to kind of like fall into that kind of position when they went back in time. And so that was an interesting but kind of predictable dynamic with it. Story not very logical. It's a sci-fi. Yeah, it's a sci-fi kind of story. By the way, the story is written by the incredible Octavia Butler, which I reviewed Dawn months ago. Like I think like beginning of the year, I reviewed Dawn. Excellent book, excellent story. It's a trilogy, so I have to read the second two. I have to do that pretty soon. But I'm a huge fan of Octavia Butler. I have to finish those books, and then I have to do a Parable of the Sower. So and I was looking forward to this because I heard the book to this is really good, but like kind of like a hard read at times. But I was looking forward to this, and yeah, the series. I did read that the book is way better than the series, and after watching this, like yeah, no duh, I could tell you. Not even reading the book, I could tell you the book is better than this. It's I don't know. It's just like Dana's decisions. She I think she had a gun. Like I can't remember how she had a gun. If her uncle left her the gun, or she just bought a gun or found one. No, I think her boyfriend, Kevin, he like bought a gun, right? And so like did she bring it to the, I don't think she brought it to the past. Well, I mean, actually that is kind of logical, because I mean, black woman with a gun in 1823, yeah, that's no good can come of that. That your survivability rate drops significantly in that scenario. Because I mean, you're gonna run out of bullets. Like unless you bring like 100 clips. If you bring like 100 clips, you might survive. You might, long enough to blink back or whatever. But yeah, I just like nah. And plus, she was so damn annoying and clueless. Like when she blinked back in time in the slave days, she was just so damn clueless. She would like getting people in trouble. She's like getting the wait staff in trouble. It's like just being out of pocket. Just like, and I get it to a certain extent, because I'd be the same way. Like, who the hell you calling boy? But it's like if I had like those kind of powers and I was in that situation, I would learn. Like I'm trying to get back home. Like I don't belong here. I'm trying to get back home. I mean, how many times you gonna be called nigga to your face though? Before you just like, look, ain't gonna be no more boys, no more niggers. I'm swinging on the neck. Look, I'm telling you, I'm swinging on him, and I'm gonna be swinging too. So I don't know. That was this. You know what? In a way, Dana is kind of the villain in this. And just hear me out here. Hear me out. She just out without like talking to anybody. She just outright sells the family home. Right? She just sells it, and just picks up and leaves and goes to California without talking to anybody else in the family. Like, this is the family home, okay? Like, this is a home that's owned. Like, a lot of black people don't own homes here. But she just sells the family home and just picks up and leaves. That's one. That's number one. Number two, when she blinks back and forth through time, she just don't care about like the other like slaves that like have to like exist in this time. Like there's no fluke. They don't have mutant powers. They just have to like exist here. And she is just don't care. Just getting them in all kinds of shit. And it was the point where I'm like, yeah, what is wrong with this chick? Like, I know you're a modern woman, but come on, bro. Like, I could not in good conscience do like half the stuff she was doing, knowing that like the other like slaves would get in trouble and like get whipped or disciplined or something by massa. It's like I couldn't do that. But she was doing a bunch of stuff that's just like, yo, would you chill? like I'm looking like the characters in the like the slave characters in the show were looking at her. I'm looking at her like, yo, what you doing? You chill. Yeah, I know. She was very much the villain, and that was 2. 3. Why did she grab onto that boy, like her boyfriend? She just grabbed onto him as she was like blinking back in time, and I was like, oh, you dirty, bro. Like, why would you drag somebody? Like, why would you willingly drag somebody else into that? I was like, oh, you dirty dog. I can't. Yeah, Dana is the villain. She's the villain in this show. Like, I mean, like the slave owners were one thing, and the I can't remember his name, but the slave master in this was just terrible. He was terrible at his job. He was a horrible slave master. Like his wife was leaving him, and who was like just horrible human being. But he was just terrible. Like, God, mighty, it's just. But yeah. All right. What else did I like about it? I mean, there was a lot in this. I was just watching it, just like, what is the hell is happening, man? And so going to kind of like find out more about the story, like the actual book. In terms of find out, like in the book, Dana and Kevin are married, which makes way more sense, and it makes it kind of a better story, because in the show they just met, kinda, and they were hooking up and they were talking, and so it's a lot of it didn't kind of like mesh as well as like if they were married as it is in the book. Then it would make sense of like why she would hang on to or like grab onto him as he was blinking. If it's her husband, then I can understand. She's just like, that I can understand that a lot more. But yeah, that was. I don't like to feel like I'm being super critical of this, but it's not a very well written show, in my opinion. This is my opinion, my humble opinion. Not a very well written show, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's what I thought about it. So author's introspection for this one. Yeah, I personally, I'm tired of seeing slavery content, slave movies, slave shows. I'm tired of it. There's way more to like black people and our history than just stopping at slavery. We always stop at slavery and like the slave trade, but we never go back into ancient like African civilizations. There's so much like magic and magistry and stories and that as well, but for some reason Hollywood just wants to stop at slavery. Gee, I wonder why. Octavia Butler has a slew of original high concept sci-fi and Afrofuturist novels to choose from, but this is the story that gets greenlit for a series. I wonder why. We do need to keep the horrors of slavery present in the minds of the nation, so so that one of its greatest sins never gets repeated. But we are more than just slavery, as I said. And I say that as a descendant of slaves. We are that's part of our history. That's not our entire history. And I would have loved to see what was it, Dawn, set into a series instead of the slave one. I would have loved to see Parable of the Sower set into a series or a movie instead of the slave one. She has a bunch of other like really great, poignant, thoughtful books that she's written and stories that she's crafted that we don't need to keep going into the slave shit. Like it kind of pisses me off at a point that we keep going to the slave shit. There's way more stories to tell of like African people and people of African descent. 2 out of 5. It was. I think the book is better. Apparently, the book is way better. This didn't make a lot of sense. It was just triggering a lot of times, and the characters in this were just really unlikable. Except for the uncle. I really like the uncle. He was cool. I rock with him. But yeah, Kindred on Hulu. 2 out of 5. I would have rather seen Dawn.